What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews, and I'm here to take you through the most comprehensive NBA player prop preview you will likely to see. If it's your first time checking out the channel, I'll let you know I do this every single day. I share my screen, we go through Outlier, I tell you about the things I don't like, I tell you what I do, and I do all this to give you all the information that you need to make the best bets possible. Now, I've been talking about these videos in the last few days about getting a special guest in here to help us out because it's been wild up in these streets on NBA capping. And I brought a friend along with me. I want to introduce you all to my man Tips with T. T, welcome to the stream, brother.
Dan, thanks for having me, bro. And shout out to all the Daft Previews people out there. It's a real privilege for me to be here. And yeah, let's get it cracking, man.
Let's get cracking. Now, you're probably wondering, why is he here? What support do you need? Apparently, I'm the YouTube GOAT. I'm not even close to that. I'm getting some reinforcements because it has been tough in these playoffs. I am starting to figure it out. But UT have been absolutely killing it. So for you guys watching T for the very first time, he's close to 1,000 units on the NBA this current season. He doesn't do that every year, but this is a personal best for him so far. Almost 1,000 units profit. I'm going to whack some slips up on the screen anyway. Take a look at his work just from the last few days. And this is my personal account, by the way. So this is money that this man's tips going into my pocket. So just want to show you that no cap, we're not lying. So I've asked T to come on. He'll preview the games with me. I just want to quickly plug your stuff. If someone doesn't have an hour and a half to watch all this, you can find T on Instagram. That's in the video link below. But you can also join his free Telegram groups where he puts out a free pick every single day. T, am I missing anything?
No, that's it, man. Get around it. I put out a free pick every day. If you want a full set of picks, well, I just advise just come and check it out on Instagram and Telegram first, just to see if you like it. If it's for you, if it's you, buy. If it's not, that's okay. It's a free pick every day. Get around it.
Get around it. Let's go. All right, let me get Outlier up. So we'll talk through these games, breaking it down one by one. So the first game we'll go through is the Pacers versus Knicks game. One thing I like to do is kind of get a game script in my mind before I talk about how players are going to go. I believe that you need to have a good understanding who's going to win, or do you think it's a high-scoring game? Do you do something similar in your process?
Yeah, man. So I'll have a quick look at the head-to-head, the line, and the total, and just sort of, that can steer you in a direction.
All right, cool. So in this particular game, we've got, it's 2-2 so far in this series. The home team winning in both games. At the moment, the Knicks are slight favorites in this game. They've got a line of 2.5. Total points we're looking at is 215. Normally in these games, it's been sitting around 225. So that total's a little bit lower. I think there's a public perception that the Knicks are starting to get a little bit tired. They're missing some players due to injury, but a slightly lower total points line in this one. Do you feel like this game's... I know you don't really bet sides and totals too much, but how do you think this game goes before we talk about these players?
I think the Pacers probably have the edge here just in terms of their health.
Yeah.
Like when you look at the Knicks, they're really up against it, man. Like OG Anunoby's out, Mitchell Robinson's out, Julius Randle's out, So they're really thin, and then they don't have many options to go to from there. They'll need, huge performances from their main guys, which they've got so far. But it's just like, how long can they do that for? That's the question that I ask anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you on that one. I'm thinking the same thing. All right, let's tackle players side by side. Let's hit the up first. I like to start with the road team here. I usually start with the big dogs, and then we work our way to the role players to see if there's any value in their picks. I want to start with Tyrese Halliburton. He's battling like 3 different injuries at the moment, but his recent form is crazy. He's scoring like no tomorrow. He would have covered his line with ease in that last game if it wasn't for a blowout. He's shooting 3-pointers. His volume is high. His total points line here is at 20.5. Have you got a read on that, or what are your thoughts on Hallie?
Yeah, it's a good question, actually. That the prop in and of itself, I think that might be about right, bro. What do you reckon?
Yeah. I probably lean to the over on this one, purely on volume alone. So last 3 games, just the volume I like, 19 and 26 shots. And then he took 15 shots in only 27 minutes. If he played more minutes, he definitely would have covered this, right? And our volume, especially from downtown, 11, 16, and 10 3-pointers. And he's shooting them over 40% over the 3 games. So the volume's there. He's done it in New York as well. I can't see how he doesn't. So I lean to the over personally on the point side of things. But
yeah, I don't mind that. Now that you bring that up, actually, and then the only question becomes, what number one, the quality of the looks, and then what is there an adjustment that comes from the Knicks to say, okay, let's try and make him a driver. Let's try and do something else. So that's the other question. But if those are both, the script's going to be what it is, he's going to take 10 threes and, a handful of layups and free throws, then you probably, you're looking towards the over, really.
Yeah. All right. Excellent. So we got a nice little lean there. Rebounds for Hallie is not a major prop I wanted to talk through, but assists. So this guy was the assist god throughout the season. High volume of potential assists. In the playoffs, we've seen his assist numbers drop off. So far in this series, 8, 9, 7, and 5 assists for Tyrese Halliburton. What I can see is that his potential assist numbers are down, but it correlates well with his points. He's shooting the ball a lot more instead of passing it. That's an obvious one for me, but his line's at 8.5, which is very low. He averaged, 11.5 on the season? Throughout the playoffs, that has dipped. Now, I personally have steered away from touching his assist line. Every time I've looked at it, it feels like the line's just about right.
I want to look at his numbers, particularly in this for his assists. So that's what they're up
8, 9, 7, and
8, 9, 7, and 5. But I just want to look at his potential, his potential assists.
15, 14, and 6.
Potential. 15,
He's averaging about 14.
Yeah, so I mean, if you have 20 potential assists, I'd probably lean to backing this as like an overs play.
Yeah.
Really. Because in his last 4 games,
he's
made about 67 passes, 13.8 potential assists, 7 assists. Yeah, so that's a little bit lower. That's a little bit low. So 8 is about right, but I'll just stick with that. 8's about right.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. I feel like the line's just about right. Until we see a game with a potential assist, like he starts throwing that thing around again, like I probably lean to the under really at that. That half is a lot. That's a killer. At 7.5, I could be entertained to take an over, but at 8.5, I'm not going near it. But
I'd lean to the over rate because it's plus money too, and he's like a very, very, very good passer. He can run up quick. It becomes a situation where the Knicks aren't making shots, for example, and that sort of ignites the Pacers, like their transition game. And if you look at the way the line's been set, a little bit lower, and if you consider all the injuries, who's going to actually shoot the ball in for the Knicks? Brunson and DiVincenzo, but the other guys are like, they miss a lot. You can see some sort of like, Tyrese gets in, just whips it ahead and some guy dunks or shoots a 3. That's sort of their style.
Transition. Naismith can run. Siakam can run. Yeah. I'm with you.
So I would lean at the 8.5 over at $2. That plus money thing is $2.10 or $2. Somewhere around there.
Yeah. So, one thing I've noticed throughout these playoffs, the odds thing, it's like, because throughout the regular season, I was betting on like slightly plus money plays all the time. I was like, there's value here. Take it. And I was hitting them quite often. In the playoffs, I noticed these lines have like sharpened up. So if I see a plus money play, it's not hitting. Like it's not coming off the way it used to be. So, but it's good. You're leaning over, I'm leaning under, but I'm not gonna bet it for sure. But the points prop is the one I'm most interested for Tyrese Halliburton, because I don't feel like the Knicks have the troops to really make the adjustment. Plus, Siakam's been good inside. Miles Turner's a problem on his day. So, yeah. All right, let's jump into the next one. That's Tyrese. Pumping the brakes real quick to make a really special announcement. Now, I've made the decision in my mind that I'm going to be working my ass off to create content, because the ultimate goal for me now is to do this full time. I want to quit my 9-to-5, and I need your support to make it happen. So how can you help me? Well, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. That helps me. It does help me get more views. So please do not stop doing that. Like, comment, subscribe right now if you have not already. But the other way that you can help me, honestly, is through affiliate marketing. Now, I just partnered up with Double Fantasy. It's one of the fastest growing daily fantasy apps in the United States, and it's currently sitting second on the charts. I do get a little kickback for new users who sign up. So being completely transparent with you. But what's in it for you is if you do sign up using my link or entering the code Daft when you sign up, they will automatically put $10 into your account. Now, another great thing about Double Fantasy is that they have a 1,000% multiplier, and that is exclusive to Double. You won't see that on other fantasy apps. So you can use that free $10 that you get when you sign up, and you can try to get yourself out of the hood. You could win $10,000 if you successfully land that 12-man. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but what I do ask is that you support your boy. Download Dabble now. So let's get back to the preview. I know you got a read on this, actually, so let's talk about it. Pascal Siakam. Firstly, let's look at his points prop, 19.5. So far in this series, he scored 19, 14, 26, and 14. The 26 points he scored was the game immediately after OG was injured. I expected that. His line was at about 19.5. I expected the over. The following game, a lot of people were on his over as well, but the blowout kind of killed the chances there because he only played 22 minutes and he only shot the ball 9 times. But what you can see here is since OG went out, his field goal percentage has skyrocketed. So for me, the only concern I'm thinking about for Pascal Siakam is whether he's going to get the volume. Is he going to get the shots? Is he going to get the minutes? Do you have any read on his points line?
What is it again? 20.5?
19.5.
Yeah, I'd lean towards the over.
Yeah.
Got a long track record of just ticking along in the playoffs, hitting 20 points. He's sort of the number one option on the team, really. Like, in a way, like Tyrese will pass and then Siakam will score like more, like in isolation, or he runs for his deep seals. When they need a bucket, like one-on-one, they go to him.
Yeah.
So he's like their tough shot maker, I'll call it. And so he can get some opportunities. Plus, he's good in transition and whatnot. He's not a good 3-point shooter. He's an okay rebounder. He'll hit the glass. He'll get to the free throw line a little bit. So 20 seems about right, but I'd lean to the over. Just considering that the Knicks, they don't quite have the right guys defensively, and you touched on that in terms of what he shot without OG. So just because he did that the last 2 games doesn't mean he necessarily will. It just probably makes it a little bit easier, more likely.
Yeah, one thing I noticed is the minute, because I watched that game when OG got injured, the minute he went down with injury, Siakam was dragging Josh Hart down into the post, and he was aggressive, just taking him every single time. And then free throws started to come. If we have a look at his free throws, this was the first game without OG. He got 9 attempts, whereas prior to that, he was barely getting to the line. And then I think
Yeah, like when you look at it, it makes sense, right? Because Hart, he's a good defender, but he's quite physical, but shorter than OG. And that height and that length, it makes a difference in terms of contesting shots. Maybe he has to be too strong with them and then, bit foul or whatever.
Yeah. The next thing I want to talk through is assists. Have you got an angle on his assists? The line's only at 2.5. He's cashed this in 1 out of the 4 games. 5, 2, 1, and 2. Potential assist in that last game was 9. Is that part of the reason why you like it? Or
man. Without giving the tips away, but we're good. I'm on Pascal Siakam, 5+ assists, 5+ rebounds.
Right.
Just because he is quite a key, a cog in that Pacers offense. He's not a guy that's standing in the corner. They're going to get him involved in a lot of actions. If Tyrese sits, he'll be more involved. And basically when we look here, I think that part just down a little bit. So you can see these numbers here. What is that? Is that a 8, 8, 7, 7, 4, 5, 2, 4, 9?
Yes.
Right. So he's getting his touches, and just depending on what he sees, he might just for himself and try and score on a guy one-on-one. But sometimes if he does see that help, he can make passes. It's sort of like an underrated aspect of his game. And with the line set at 2.5, when you look at potential assists like this, you can't get assists unless you pass the ball. So that just sort of shows that he is willing and able as a passer.
Yeah.
Now those red bars up above, it's just games where it hasn't worked out, except for that really low one where he had 1. He didn't.
He had 4.
Roughly speaking, most of these guys, when they make a potential assist, guys make over half of their shots on those.
Yeah.
Just generally, if you look at the statistics.
Yeah. And I like it as well. Obviously, the 2.5 at these odds, I wouldn't play them as a straight bet, but I think going for a higher pick, if he's going to get close to those 9 potential assists as well, it looks like a good play, especially given the way that the Knicks are set up. They don't have the size for Pascal, so he could see more double teams, especially if he gets it down low. So, all right, let's have a look at his rebound prop then. 7.5 is the line for Siakam. He's hit this in 1 of the 4 games, 6, 9, 7, and 4. Rebound chances are all over the place, in my opinion. So when I see stuff like this, I don't even want to bet it because I don't know what's happening. 9, 16, 13, and 7. The last game, he obviously played less minutes, so I could forgive him for that. But when I see data like this, it makes me a little bit uneasy. Do you have any thoughts on Siakam rebounds and this line?
7.5. I'd lean
Yeah.
towards the over. Yeah, he's got a real strong track record as a rebounder in the playoffs. So
Yep.
more than in his regular season. And also he's playing more minutes now. In the regular season, they're keeping him on like a pretty limited, or not in the blowout, but just if the game's somewhat close, he's going to be playing close to 40. So, that's an extra 5 minutes on what he would have been playing in the regular season. So there's going to be more missed shots in that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'd lean to the over. I don't have a play on. Would lean.
Yeah. So, like, if we were to look at something like a PRA, because we're leaning over on his points, rebounds, and assists, right? So a PRA could be a good look because you could assume the line's a little bit conservative at 30.5 purely because of his recent performances. But historical data, the matchup, and everything like that could help us lean to the over.
He's been like flirting with it. Look, there's like 4 where it ended bang on. Like if you can shop around and find that 29.5 number, you really might be quite happy with that, really. The pace of the series is like much slower than that Bucks series, and the defense is better. So that's like, not so great.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to factor it all in. I think personally for me, I just look at his points plus assists because I think the assist has real potential to blow it up. And I think they're like related, the points plus assists. A lot of it comes down to Siakam's got to get the ball. Whether he shoots, he scores, whether he passes, someone else does. I think it all can feed into the same bet. Whereas rebounds, you're probably you need different things to happen in order for that to cash. So I might just look at his points and assists together. Potentially. We'll see. All right. Let's take a look at Miles Turner. So Miles Turner can be hard to read. He's either giving you 25 or he's giving you 5. His points line in this one is 16.5. Far in this series, he scored 23, 6, 21, and then 13 so far in the 4 games. Minutes obviously impacted in the last one because of the blowout. His field goal attempts, 16, 11, 13, and then 5. His 3-pointers are interesting though. 6, 2, 5, and then 3. So he's tough to get a read on. The times where I have bet him is after a bad game because of the bounce back type of thing. Like he's still aggressive getting shots up, but it comes down to his percentages. Do you have any thoughts on Miles Turner and his points?
Yeah, I'd lean to the over. I'd lean to the over for Turner. Stretch big man, fires up from 3. If he hits a couple, then, they'll go to him. But it's not make a play on it.
Yeah.
I'd like either, something like 15, some number like that. But not really 17.
Yeah.
How's his blocks line? What's his block showing it?
1.5. It's been at 1.5 all series. It's cash in the last 2. You like that? At minus 140?
Ah, nah.
Yeah, I don't like it either. Not at those odds. But sometimes you can get better odds if you go steals plus blocks. Yeah. Because he gets, sometimes you get steals, But now you're looking at it's 2.5 steals plus blocks plus 102.
Yeah, and he might just get 3 blocks anyway. So
yeah,
done him on that.
Yeah, so that's not a bad one. I want to talk about his rebounds. Line's at 7.5. He's cashed this in 1 out of the 4. 2, 7, 10, and then 5. Rebound chances, 9, 9, 18, and then 15. So last 2 games, those rebound chances have exploded. And obviously that's because partly the Knicks offense has struggled. So more rebound chances for Miles Turner. But I think the loss of OG makes it a bit difficult too. There's one less player attacking the rack. So Miles Turner is notorious for trying to block everything. If no one's attacking the rim, he's going to get more rebound chances. I think if you look at historical, he's usually right under this, like at about 7. That's where he tends to sit. I think 60% of his games this year, he's gone under 7.5. But
based off that, you'd lean to the under, but you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater in terms of the regular season, but you always want to consider guys are going to be playing minutes the guys because they're going to shorten the rotation. Yep. And then what you want to consider is the game's probably going to be tighter, so there'll be less shots going up and less rebound opportunities. I'm not sure. That's a tough one to me. I reckon probably
you can pass. You can pass whenever you want, and we'll move the fuck on because let's pass. All right, cool. I'm not looking at his assist prop. I think points 1. I don't want to plus blocks. That could be an interesting take. The last 3, it's really turned on. So I'm just creating a short list of things. So a lot of the leans that I land on when I preview the games, I share that with everyone who's watching.
Yep.
So at least that way they can do their own investigation into those. Try to make it a little bit easier for them. Who else do we have in this? We got TJ McConnell. So his points plus assists is something that's been hitting quite well as of late, something that I am looking at. All right, TJ McConnell. Firstly, looking at his points line, we're seeing 10.5. He's been pretty productive in this series. He scored 18, 10, 6, and 15 points. His minutes are relatively consistent, hovering around the 20-minute mark. Somewhat aggressive, playing 20 minutes, but he's taking on average, more than 10 shots per game. That's one thing that I do like. The volume is pretty good. Over the season, he shoots about 55% from the field, so the percentages are quite high for TJ. And he's had a somewhat mixed bag so far on the point side of things. But do you have any thoughts on TJ McConnell off the bench?
Yeah, man. TJ McConnell's been balling. Like, he's had a real good role here in this series. He's been doing a pretty good job when he defends Brunson, and then when he gets the ball, they sort of just, go TJ, see what you can do. But he's been doing some stuff, you know what I mean? So it's like, and it's 10.5. I would like it. Normally, I wouldn't be in any hurry to back that guy to get 10.5 points because he sucks at shooting. But because of how he's been played and how he's stepped up to that mark, I wouldn't bet that for sure.
Yeah. I think I looked into the data, I think maybe 2 games in. Like, I look at the matchup data, and not only is he one of the better defenders for Jalen Brunson, is when he has the ball, he destroys Brunson. If Brunson's defending him, he just attacks him.
Yeah,
just wearing him down.
I wouldn't necessarily say like the way they're playing him makes it like that. If that's it makes it live with this guy taking middies, or live with him just dribbling around the paint, and then but coming off the big to help. They're just watching him, and then he just pulls it and he hits it from like 15 feet.
Yeah, he's letting him go 1-on-1. Yeah, so I'm not taking his points prop. I already know that, but it is a lean of mine because there's a good correlation with his assists. If we jump into that next, lines at 4.5. A lot of these big games with assists are slower games scoring.
Yep.
He's aggressive regardless when he gets on there. It's just whether he's going to score or whether he's going to dime up, that I'm a bit uncertain of.
Yep.
That's why I'm considering the points plus assists together and playing that as a straight bet. But assist-wise, 3, 12, 1, and 10 in the 4 games. And you can see it here. His potential assists are all over the place. Like 7, 14, 2, 15. So, again, I wouldn't back the under.
Yeah, what we can say from that for sure is that he has a role in the series, right?
Yeah.
And I'd be looking at those numbers and thinking to myself, all right, so maybe we can push it a bit higher, go for like 7 mark and get $4.
Yeah.
And he has that big assist game, and now boom.
Because he's got big potential.
14, if he's having 15 potential assists, he's going to crush 7. And if he's going to have 15 half of the time and hit 7 and 80% of those games, because if that's the number you're putting up, you're going to clear 7. You know what I mean? At least 40% chance. $3 odds, man. Plus, it's good bet.
Yeah. I think
it's either like a good bet, and if I'm tipping it, I'll look like the man, or I'll look like a piece of trash if he shoots it. But I don't care about what it looks like. You know what I mean? I care about being in a good position.
Yeah. Like if you had to run the same bet 100 times, you'd take him. And if you knew he was going to get 15 potential assists half the time, then you'd back him at 7 assists at plus 300. And if you hit that half the time, you're laughing, right?
Yeah. That's exactly right. Compared to say, I knew he was going to get 9 potential assists every single game.
Yeah.
Then it's like a different calculation. It's a totally different scenario now.
Yeah. You're dealing with a different beast. And I like your thinking, because I have a similar thought for players like this, where you see the potential. And most people avoid betting on people like this because it's like, they're inconsistent. It's like, their potential is high. So you look like a genius here, depending on how you play it. So this is something.
Yeah, and then the only question we got to ask is he still going to be part of the coach's plans next game? And because of what you mentioned, the defense he plays on Brunson, then, like I can still see playing. What is he playing? 25 minutes? He's playing half a game.
Yeah, every time. So I'll take his potential, look at over 6.5. We're looking at $3.64. So we have to do some line shopping on that, but that could be a good look. So I've taken note of that. And then I think if I was being conservative, then just points plus assists, which has a great hit rate. He's aggressive when he's on there. His points is there. The potential assist is there as well. This is a safe ground for TJ McConnell.
Yeah, that's the if you can get what are you getting for that?
That'd be over $2 for us plus
Yeah,
money.
nice. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good, man.
yeah. All right. I thought you'd like that because I liked it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Who else is there? I want to talk about Obi Toppin with you. So Obi Toppin been pissing me off. Let me show you why. So against the Bucks, the minute so his line's at 8.5. He really had a breakout game in game 2, and then he covered it every game since his points line, right? And then coming into this Knicks series, I knew this form was great from him, but I was like, new series, put that last series away. The defense is going to be tougher, yada, yada, yada. I knew all that. I knew coming against his old team, he's done well against him in the past as well. So I knew all that. But I thought, I'm not going to touch it because this is not going to stay green forever. He's going to fall off, right? He cashes one against New York, cashes game 2 with 20 points. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to get on. Then he scores 2 points. And I was like, I knew it. I knew it was going to happen. But then in game 4, he scores 14. So tough for me to read. The data says take the over because his minutes are consistent, almost 20 minutes a game. The field goal attempts are not consistent.
But he's averaging 9, is it? Over his last 10?
Over his last 5, averaging almost 14, averaging 12.2 in his last 10.
No, his field goal attempts.
Oh, field goal attempts. Yeah. 9. 9 in his last 10.
Okay.
And then 9 in his last 5.
I'd lean to the over if he's going to get 9 shots in half a game.
Yeah. Plus, he's making 3-pointers, occasional free throw. Yeah.
And the winner, bam, fast break, dunk. Like,
he
they're really
the
good
very well
at that. They can get some easy ones.
If
they can get some easy ones.
Yeah. I'm with you. All right. Let's have a quick look at his rebounds, though. That also has Ed had a similar hit rate against the Bucks. It was great. And then coming into this Knicks series, it's fallen flat. So 3.5 to the line. He's gone 6-3, 1-1. Potential assists over his last 4, not good. 4, 5, 3, and 5. And he needs 4 rebounds.
Probably lean to the under.
Yeah.
But what about you?
I'm leaning to the under as well, but I also know what this guy's capable of, so I don't want to. I'm going to pass on it. Like, I don't want to bet anyone under 4 rebounds, to be honest.
I'll bet guards under 4 rebounds. Yeah. I'll bet.
But not a big. Like, this guy could just miss 2 layups and get the rebound, right? Like, yeah. So I don't want to. I don't want to go through every single player on this Pacers roster, but is there anything else that stands out to you for the others? Shepard, Naismith, Nembhard.
We could something I did notice is that they were letting Nembhard play with the ball a little bit as well. Like, they were getting him a few touches to run pick and roll and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Rather than just being strictly, a passenger on Tyrese's bus. So I wouldn't mind looking at it as assist line. What is it? 3.5?
It's 3.5, and he's cashed this in 8 straight games. But
that's not bad.
It's like $1.55, $1.60.
No.
Yeah. So.
But I was thinking if we could see something like that and get $1.80, $1.70.
Yeah. I've been tracking this a while.
Okay.
One point this moved up to 4.5, and I was like, nah, I'm not touching that now. But that's the game he had 6, and I was like, damn it. And then he had 5 in the last game, but they've dropped the line to 3.5.
Yeah.
So despite hitting it, they've dropped it. But look at his potential assist numbers; they're not high. So whoever he's passing the ball to, I think Tyrese Halliburton's got to pass that guy the ball too, because in his last 10, 8 potential assists and almost 5 assists per game.
Yeah, so that's over half.
Yeah. So his assist to potential assist ratio is high. But at 3.5 at these odds, I wouldn't play it. And then I also wouldn't touch this at 4.5. That's a good look. Let's get into these Knicks. Jalen Brunson. So Jalen Brunson been getting busy, a whole lot of shots. I don't know how bad this injury is that he had. Or is it just general fatigue? Because he's not showing up in any injury reports or anything. But since that game, he's been struggling. So 43 in the first game, 29, 26, 18. Line's at 13.5. It is plus money. Minutes are down in the last 3 games as well. And attempts are probably down because of the minutes too. So somewhat impacted by injury. But my first casual take is it's too high. But I feel crazy to bet an under on Jalen Brunson because he could shoot the ball 30 times.
I think what we're looking at there, though, is one of those games he was injured. He picked up a knock and didn't play, part of
he missed about 10 minutes, Yeah,
in the game he was, it was a blowout. So we can say he's going to play 40 minutes. Like, let's just say the game's close. He's going to play 40. But the query that I have about Jalen Brunson is, I'm pretty sure he's injured, man. Like he
Yeah.
does. Not that he ever looked like blazingly fast, but he looked like he could stop and go
Yeah.
better. And
Yeah.
now it's all a bit slower. You're just getting less separation. So
Yeah.
I think what's the line?
32.5.
32. No, yeah, I'd lean to the under, man.
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
leaning to the under too. I just, like most bettors, we don't like betting unders, especially if you're watching the game. If you're watching the game, you don't want to bet unders.
yeah.
It
I mean,
sucks.
it's the way you frame it, right?
Yeah.
The way you frame it. If you've got an unders ticket, your ticket's winning. Bet it, it's winning. Anything
always
happens
winning,
to this guy, injured, you won. Foul out, you won. Ejected, you won. Rubber shooting, you won. So
Yeah.
it's the ticket you've got in your hand, it's winning until it's not. Whereas
Yeah.
if you bet the over, you've got a losing ticket in your hand until the guy clears. So
Yeah.
it's more like just about
Reframing
control, like controlling
Yeah.
your emotion around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm with you. Okay, cool. Well, we're both leaning under. I'm going to investigate it a bit further. I might bet it. Since you reframe it like that, I'll be winning from the tip off. Line's at 6.5. He's under in all 4 games. 6, 5, 6, and 5. Potential assists 15, 7, 13, and 8. So he's had highs in the past. I think this line opened up. The first game was 8.5, and it's moved down to 6.5. But do you have any insights on the assist side, I think, for Brunson? Because I've been betting his unders against the Pacers. And let me show you something real quick. It's because these are his games in the last 2 years against the Pacers. He's gone under in 9 straight games. Obviously, Julius Randle was playing in some of these, so I get that.
Yep.
But it's a pretty telling graph. It's all red. Do you have
It
any
is for
thoughts?
sure. Yeah, I'm on the over, man. Just for the pure fact that he's going to have the ball that much.
Yeah.
And if I think he's not going to be able to score it himself, he's going to have to pass to someone else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's going to get his touches, right? Like, I don't know what. Let's see. Basketball Monster's got him projected for 7.5 assists, which is okay. That's like a pretty good projection site that I use. But I want to look at how many times he actually touched the ball in this series, so Brunson. So he's receiving about 67 passes and making close to 50 with about 10.8 potential assists a game. So heavily involved player. And I just think that if he can't do it himself, he's going to have to pass to others, and then he'll have to rely on them to make some shots. I think that's my read on it anyway. And if we look at his playoffs, for this season and last season, which I think is a little bit more relevant, those games that you show right now for the Pacers, those are 100%. Those are the ones that are the most important. I would put like less weight into the ones on the
regular
other
season.
side season, like you say, with Randall and this and that. They're not really going after it. But now, if you watch the Knicks, Brunson touches the ball every time down the court. He has the ball in his hands for I don't know, it's a 40-minute game. He might have the ball for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like he's got the ball for 10 minutes and he decides who to pass to, who to shoot. Like if he's not shooting himself. And if I think that he's injured and laboring, which he has been, then I think he's going to pass.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense to me. All right, I like that. I think his usage rate is close to 30%. It's the highest in the playoffs. Now we're talking about his assists. Dante DiVincenzo, hopefully the recipient there of a lot of these passes. So
double.
Yeah, I'm looking at his points line is at 22.5. As a FYI, it was 23.5 in the last game. In this series, he scored 25, 28, 35, got blown out, only scored 7 points. So if we exclude that blowout, he's playing 43 minutes a night. 17, 20, and 26 shot attempts in those 3 games. Obviously, shot attempts went up the game after Jalen Brunson got injured. And OG. No OG, Jalen Brunson got injured. Dante's volume has gone up. So I'm looking to take the over on this for 2 reasons. 1, minutes and volume. I think he'll get there. 2, I bet it the last time and it lost. So I've got this crazy trend so far in this playoff. So I can read the play right. And I think I've got a good bet. And when I bet it and it loses, especially in the playoffs, I was veering away. I was like, nah, fuck that. I don't want to bet this guy anymore. But the same research I did when the prop lost came true the next game.
You're early.
It's like 75% of the ones I've lost, they hit the next game. I might have made out that number, but that's how it feels. But those are the 2 reasons I'm leaning to Dante's over. But what are your thoughts on his points prop?
22.5, I'd probably lean to the under. I think he's probably going to take 15 to 20 shots.
Yeah.
And it's a home game, so I'd probably lean to the under. But you know, who else is going to take the shots? You know what I mean? That becomes the question. So yeah, like I wouldn't necessarily bet it as a single prop on its own, but
Yeah.
if I think the Knicks are going to suck, then I'd probably make a multi around even not being so great. But
Yeah.
22.5, it's just not quite. Yeah, but the other thing you want to consider too, Dan, in those numbers, he shot like 60% from three or something stupid. Like he shot a real good percentage. Like where
be a
is
regression. Yeah, 56, 50, and 64.
Yeah. So like, do you believe that that's who he is as a shooter? I don't.
No, he's like about 40 to 45.
45. Yeah. So he shot well 4 times in a row to hit that.
Yeah.
You know what? And it's going under if he misses 2, and then like 35 it's going to clear no matter what because he took so many shots, right? He took 26 shots. So I think he's getting 26 shots. You back the over. If you think he's taking 20, well, now it's like a real question.
Yeah. I was thinking about that because I was thinking like a lot of things have to come back eventually. The attempts need to come back. The percentages need to come back because there's a baseline, and he's playing, or he was playing well above it. Then he had a game where he's gone straight under it. I don't think he can maintain those percentages, but I think Jalen Brunson is not going to be as effective scoring. The only person who called their own shot is Alec Burks.
Yep, that's right.
And, Josh Hart is reluctant to shoot. Hardenstein's not going to shoot.
Yeah, I wouldn't talk you. I couldn't talk you out of it because, like you said, even if I don't believe he's a 60% shooter, I do think he's going to get the attempts. So I don't have any any money either way. But if you want to go 22.5, I can see how it hits. Like
volume is my reason. Yeah. All right. Cool. Now Dante's other props don't really interest me. I don't know anyone who's bet on Dante's assists and rebounds, but given the time, let's push through. I want to talk about Josh Hart. So I found it very difficult to bet on Josh Hart these playoffs. One, because uncharacteristically, he's been scoring.
Holy heck, look at that.
Yeah. I'm trying to see. Actually, this was the start of the playoffs. Played 10 playoff games. And out of nowhere, regular season, he wasn't doing this. Playoffs hit in that Philly series, and then he was just scoring.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But it's because that's how they defended him. That's the guy they left open to shoot.
Yeah.
And even though he's reluctant, he just has to. He's wide open. You know what I mean? He's an NBA player. He's going to make those shots probably. But they decided that was their best tactic that they could use was to leave Josh Hart. They said, okay, Josh Hart, go and beat us. And then he was just chucking them in. And, he's going to do his hustle stuff too. A couple offensive rebounds, might get a push in transition. That's his actual offensive game.
Yeah.
This 3-point shooting and all that is just like because it was gifted to him. Like 76ers said, okay, these other guys, they're not going to beat us. It'll be Hart. Hart's the one that's going to end up with the shot, and he just drilled them.
Yeah, he did. Well, these are his Indiana versus Indiana numbers. So, obviously, the last 4 games of the playoffs, 24, 19, 10, and 2. A downward trend. That last game, he only played 23 minutes. If he averages 48 anyway. These are his attempts, 13, 12, 7, and 6. I feel like the last 2 games is more of an accurate representation of what you should expect from Josh Hart. First 2 games, 69 and 67%. So the volume was very high. So the question is, 15.5 points, can he cover it? I think similar to TJ McConnell, I think betting 15.5 is a straight bet. Probably not the go for Josh Hart. I'd take him for something absurd and high or not take him at all. But what are your thoughts?
I'd lean to the under, man. I'd just lean to the under. It's his tendency. His tendency is just to catch. Like he gets the ball, he's just moving it on, or he's trying to create like some driving kick, but he's not really. I got it. It's going up. You know what I mean? Like when he catches it and he shoots it, it's like I caught it. Can I pass to someone? Can I drive? No, I'm wide open. I'll shoot. And that, you can almost see it ticking over in his mind. It's never like when you see a shooter. It's just automatic. It just becomes, I just call it automatic. It's going up. But for him, it's sort of the third option of what he's trying to do. I'd lean to the under. He's going to get lots of minutes, though, you got to consider. And he does have those transition and hustle plays, which is his natural game. Plus, I don't know. He did take a lot of shots. What have you got? You backing him?
No, I'm not. I'm choosing not to. But I think one thing that concerns me is these two games where he scored a lot against the Pacers were the games in New York.
Yeah,
Maybe that
that's
has
right.
something to
Home
do
game
with
as
it.
well.
Yeah, he's feeling himself at home. He's back at home. He could have bounce back. I'm just not going to bet it because I don't know what Josh Hart is doing half the time. So, but his rebound prop does interest me because he plays almost 48 minutes. He gets a shit ton of rebounds. The Pacers numbers against the Pacers, the rebound numbers look good only in the playoffs 13, 15, 18, and then 3. If we look at his last 10, he's covered this in 7 out of his last 10 games in this playoffs, averaging 20 rebound chances. In the first 3 games, 20, 22, and 26 rebound chances for Josh Hart. Before that, blowout. And the line's at 12.5. That last game, his line was up to 13.5, which I was leaning under in straight away because that's just absurd. I don't care how many times you hit it. So
Yeah,
he was going to fall off the cliff eventually. I'm leaning to the over here because I think this is what I could expect to see for Josh Hart in the playoffs. About 12 boards, 12 to 13 boards, and a lot of minutes. I think this game's going to be close, so I think the opportunities will be there. But what are your thoughts on Josh Hart boards?
I'd lean to the over, but it's not a bet for me. He's a dog, this guy. He just gets after it. So if he's out there for 48, if they miss shots, like he gets rebounds that are way out of his area, just all over the shot, really. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Pretty strong. He doesn't have like height, or he's not ripping them down up by the top of the square. Like a big man, like
Yeah.
technically you normally see, but for someone that puts up those kind of numbers, but any boards that are like underneath the backboard, he's getting.
Oh,
He just comes up with them. Can't really explain that. He's a dog.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's not really a bet for me because the line's pretty high.
Yeah.
Probably lean under, but I'm not going to bet it. No.
How about assists? Can I interest you in Josh Hart assists? 5.5 so far in the series. 8, 7, 4, and 2. The 2 games where he went over were both at home. He had potential assists in those games. On the road, he had 8 and 3.
Back home, yeah, I'd probably lean to the over. Like you're looking at the minutes, and he likes passing the ball. He's unselfish.
He doesn't like shooting it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so he's averaging 8.3 potential assists in the series, and he's making about 62 passes.
Yeah.
62 passes, that's a lot of passes. But he's out there for a lot of minutes. So I'll probably just leave it, really.
Yeah.
It's not a bet for me.
We can pass on that. No problemo. Anybody else on the Knicks that have caught your attention, though?
I want to look at Achua rebounds or Hartenstein rebounds.
Okay. Let's suss them both out. All right. So Precious Achua lines at 6.5. It's plus money. He's gone under in all 4 games this series. Since OG went down, 6 boards in both games. About 20 to 25 minutes. And rebound chances, 11 and 13 rebound chances in his last 2. Feels pretty near the line, but
I'd lean to the over, yeah.
Yeah?
I think so, yeah. So was that last game, was that his first start?
Second. Yeah.
Okay.
OG's been missed both road games. I feel like it's on the money. The only thing that would lean me to the over is the fact that they're playing at home. But keeping in mind, they lost both of these games on the road.
Yeah, he only played about half the game, eh?
We can leave that one. All right. Let's check out Isaiah. And then real quick, I want to talk to you about Alec Burks' points. Here's Hartenstein, minus 120 for the over, 9.5. In this series, 6, 12, 8, and 5. Rebound chances, 11, 21, 16, and 14. In his last 5 games, 8 rebounds per game, 15.2 rebound chances. So you need close to 20 rebound chances to take this with confidence, right?
Yeah, I think so. But he's going to be playing more minutes, I think. But yeah, I'd probably leave that one as well.
Yeah. I expected a big jump in his rebounds once Mitchell Robinson was out, but it didn't happen. Josh Hart just ended up getting more. But I think it's also because he's defending Miles Turner. Miles Turner, he's at the top of the key all the time. He's just he's picking and fading, picking and popping. He's always up there.
Yeah, he's further from the hoop. That means less really want to go that direction.
And I think the more Hallie gets on fire, the more likelihood Isaiah is going to stay at the top of the key. There's no drop coverage here for the Knicks. I'm not feeling it.
What's his points line?
We are looking at 9.5 points.
Oh, yeah, leave it. No. Or maybe I'd lean to the over. I wanted something 13 and just smash the under, but no.
Yeah. His shot attempts have been really low last 2. 4 and 3 attempts. His percentages are high, but he's not
Yeah.
taking many at all.
That's right.
So, all right, I want to have a quick look at Alec Burks, his points. So he's been part of the rotation since OG went out. So obviously the Knicks are only playing 7 men, which is why Josh Hart has to play 48. Like there are times where Josh 4 and Precious Achiuwa's a 5. So
Yeah.
Alec Burks and McBride are the only players off the bench that are getting time. In the 2 games, 14 and 20 points for Alec Burks. You can expect about 20 minutes from him.
Yeah.
He took 6 shots in game 1, 11 in game 2, 50% from 3, and then 33% from 3. Now, when he was with Detroit, like I know this because if you ever bet on Cade Cunningham or even Jaden Ivey, a lot of the time they wouldn't cash because Alec Burks is going mad. Like he calls his own number every time he's out there. He's not afraid to put him up. So I'm thinking the line's only at 9.5. It's a plus money play. I don't care if he's hit this in the last 2 games or not. Like he's aggressive. Well, what are your thoughts on that?
I'd definitely lean to the over if that's the direction you're going with it. If you think he's playing half a game or 20 minutes, which because of how it's for the Knicks, he's an option. Brunson's a bit limited. They really don't have a bucket getter. So it's DiVincenzo, Brunson, and then what? Those other guys, Hardenstein, you could pass on the ball. It's not going to work.
Who passed
he
back
wants
to you?
pass. There's starter Achiuwa. Oh, Achiuwa can do some stuff. Achiuwa's got some game, but like it's Burks, man. So Burks is in that 6-man role now. So I like that.
He's putting it up. Like even Miles McBride, when he gets on, his main goal is to play defense.
Yeah,
that's what he's doing. Is hopefully to slow down Hallie or TJ McConnell or somebody. But Alec Burks been real aggressive. I remember I tipped on the last game. I could only get his line at 8.5. I couldn't get any alternate lines for him. But a few of the guys in the US got him for 15, 20 points. Like it was huge. Huge.
Yeah, I mean, like he's doing that for a long time. That's how he's been playing. And now Tibbs has said, okay, that's the option that we have. So what, he's going to change into some different player now after 500 games of getting him up? Probably not.
Check this out. This is why I tipped in the last game. These are his last 10 games where he played 20 minutes.
But what you want to, the other thing is you want to put a cap on that because he's not going to play 30.
He's not going to play more.
He's going to play 20. So you want to look
24 minutes?
Just like that, bro. Yeah. Just put 15. Like half a game.
Yeah.
So, but it's still paints the same picture, right? Like
The picture is delicious. So, all right. Let's jump into this next game. Conscious of time. We've got Denver versus Minnesota. Both teams have only won on the road so far. We head back to where are we going now? Denver. Going back to Denver. Denver have clawed it back. What is it about Denver that's changed though? They got kind of dominated in the first 2 at home. Went into Minnesota. Do you know what they changed?
I think Minnesota just put up some huge defensive efforts.
Yeah.
And it's not like they had like small changes. Like Cat was getting guarded by like KCP on some random positions. I couldn't tell you any one thing that I think that they've massively changed. It's still Joker and Murray. Murray. Aaron Gordon had a hot game. Does he do that all the time? Maybe. But why? What do you reckon? What changed?
Well, because I haven't been working, I've had a lot of time to watch. I think the key changes has been centered around Jamal Murray. Like Jokic, you can kind of predict how he's going to go every game. Like he's predictable, unstoppable at what he does, but you can kind of predict and expect something. Very similar to LeBron. Like they'll deliver the same type of shit all the time. But I think the game changer for them is Jamal Murray. And what I noticed in those first 2 games was he was getting hassled. Like he was getting hounded. Like Jaden McDaniels, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And then if they're not on, he's got Anthony Edwards. Like he's getting dogged. So what I noticed in game 3 and 4, they're playing Jamal Murray off the ball a lot more.
Yeah.
Like Aaron Gordon is bringing the ball up the court. Aaron Gordon is bringing, because also Rudy Gobert's the one defending Aaron Gordon. So if Aaron Gordon brings the ball up the court, Rudy's got to play higher.
Yeah.
Like automatically. Whereas in the first 2 games, Jamal Murray was trying to be a traditional point guard, bring it up, and they were dogging him up the court. Whereas now it's kind of replenished his legs. He's playing off the ball. About 16 seconds in, then he gets it, and then they get into their actions. So
Yep.
it's somewhat slower, but it kind of releases Jamal Murray. That's what I've noticed anyway. I could
That
be
makes
wrong.
a ton of sense. No, you're right. You're 100% right. The Timberwolves have been picking up full court, so
Yep.
they played Gordon, and then they conserved Murray's legs a little bit. The other
Yep.
thing is he was dealing with some injuries, so he could be coming back to health. And the third factor is I actually backed him in the game 3, I think, for like a good collect. But I knew he wasn't going to be that trash. Like, it doesn't matter. He's still taking those same sort of difficult shots
Yep.
and creating in the same manner, but he's not just going to go 3 for 18 every game. He can actually make those kind of shots. And like you said, if they keep him a little bit fresher legs, he's going to make them more and be able to do more. Whereas if he's like, Alexander Walker and Jaden McDaniels, they're all over him the whole court. Now, it took 5-6 seconds to get it up. He had to turn 3 times, a bit tired, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not tired, he's a professional athlete, but it wears down. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me, bro. I agree with that.
Yeah, yeah. And the reason why it calls out to me is because, like, when I was playing reps, or actually, I'm 5'7". I only have one position on the court, right? But when I was playing reps and I had some bigger guy, because all the other point guards were like 6'1", 6'3", right? And when they picked me up full court, I couldn't think of anything worse. The amount of times I had to turn, how gassed I would be once I cross half court, like, and for 35 to that, I was like, that is awful. And then I noticed it in game 3. I was like, Aaron Gordon's he's bringing the ball up all the time. And Rudy, you can see them yelling at Rudy to step up. Like, Rudy's head to half court. He doesn't even want to be that high. So it kind of broke everything for him. So interesting to see how they adapt. But let's talk players. Let's talk about Minnesota first on the road. We got to talk about Ant-Man, who's been a beast. I had a nice collect on his last game. Yeah. I think I had about 35 points and under 5.5 assists.
How many assists did he get?
Oh,
right
5.
off?
He got 5.
He's a 5 assist guy.
He lives there. But let's talk about it. His points line, 29.5 so far in this series. 43, 27, 19, and then 44. Breaking it down, he had 45 minutes in that last game. His volume is a bit up and down. So the game goes over, he's shooting 29 and 25, where he went under only 17 and 15. His percentages are very high, though, over 50% in every game. It's really just the volume that I'd be worried about if I'm back in this, and his aggressiveness. So the last game for me, I felt like that was an easy one. He went out there and said it himself. Like, I wasn't aggressive enough. I need to turn it on. Yeah. I was like, all right, 35 points then. So they still ended up losing, but he just scored 44, and now I'm a little bit hesitant on which way to go with it. Like, I'll probably pass on his points prop. I don't know, because I don't know what he's going to do. Have any thoughts on Ant scoring here?
I'd lean to the under.
Yeah,
I'd lean to the under for sure. He's
not
like, he can go big, but he has to go for it. So, like, in that other game, he gave you a lead. He said, I'm going to be like, I wasn't aggressive enough. He's already vocalized it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas this one, I'm not sure what he said. He's probably said, I need to do better.
Yeah.
Sure? But if he said, I need to be even more aggressive, then okay, we're backing him for 50. You know what I mean? Because if he puts his mind to it, he'll score. He'll score and score and score and score. That's his tendency, is to score the ball. And who do the Nuggets have to put on him? KCP, pretty good. Aaron Gordon was actually guarding him. So Aaron Gordon, pretty good. And Michael Porter Jr., not so good. He'll kill him. No. He'll torch Murray. He'll torch Joker.
Yeah.
He'll torch Jokic for sure. So, yeah.
I think if he puts his mind to it, he can catch this easy. Like, if you see the way he scores, he drives when he wants. He takes whatever shot he wants to.
That's right. So, can you find, I suppose, I'd lean to the under, but I wouldn't bet it necessarily. Or I might try to do something like just back them to have a really bad game. They're on the road. Pressure's up. They've just lost to defending champs. And we've seen the Nuggets turn the screws on teams before and just really, like, grind them out at home and just suffocate them, really. So is that a possibility? I think so. You look at that 14, 13, 15, 27, 19. Yeah. And this points low would be, 23
and a half. Yeah.
That's one bad shooting game.
Yeah.
If anything, I'm either looking to go
40 plus big, or under 23.
Because that middle ground is like, I don't feel strong enough about it. But if you think, he scores low today and you can get $4 for that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you.
Well,
I'm
you
just
told
gonna say,
me he's got 40 and you
yeah,
can give me $5 or more, like, a big price. I'll
yeah,
take it.
yeah. All right. We're both passing on the points prop, leaning to a very high over or a very low under.
It's like, look at the graph.
Let's talk about his assists. 5.5's the line in this series. 3, 7, 5, and 5. Plus money if you take the over. Potential assists 6, 12, 10, and 6. We don't have to look at his minutes. We know he's going to get at least 40.
Yeah, that's right. I think five's the number.
Yeah.
I think five's the number. Like, you look at that and you think, oh, yeah, five's the number. So
Yeah.
if you can shop for 4.5 and take the over, good, yeah. But
Yeah.
because you're getting plus money for 5.5, so you can get like $1.80 for 4.5. I think that's all right.
Yeah. 4.5's not paying well here. Minus 180. That's like $1.20, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh shit! No, that's too short.
Yeah, I know.
Good. That's a big price. So you're going from $2. That's nuts, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because 5 is the number.
Okay, they know. Yeah, they know.
Yeah, they know that 5 is the number. So they're incentivizing you to take the over, or you can play it safe and move it down, but we're not paying you shit because 5 is the number, right? So, all right, we ain't touching Ants assists. Now his rebounds. I've liked his rebounds so far in this series. He's gone 7, 2, 6, and 5. Potential rebounds 9, 4, 8, and 8. But this line has moved a bit. Once upon a time, it was a 4.5 because 5 close to that number. But he's averaging 6.2 in his last 10, if that means anything. But a lot of that damage was done in the Phoenix series.
How many point underdog are they?
Let me look. I think it's a small one. Probably 2.5 or 3.5.
Oh, close game.
Oh, 4.5. It's 4.5. But yeah, it's moving. It's moving towards 5.5.
No, I got nothing there.
Okay, so nothing on Ant. Let's talk about Cat. Now, here's someone who I think has good upside and downside. He's one of those players.
Yeah. It's a roller coaster, right? You back this guy, and then he just does the most outrageous fouls and charges.
Oh, yeah. For no reason.
Fouls, and it's like, fuck, man. Yeah. What are you doing?
Not one of his. I haven't seen Cat do a foul. I'm like, yeah, it's a good foul. Like, he just. What did you do for? Like, you foul someone at half court sometimes for no reason.
Yeah, just like, oh, we're in the bonus. Like,
yeah.
90 feet from the hoop, I'll reach for it. Fuck,
or he fouls people shooting 3-pointers. He likes that too. Like, he's one of those guys. But you look like a genius or an asshole if you bet on Karl Anthony Towns. He's actually made me look good. I've had a good run with him so far in his playoffs. But in this series, 20, 27, both of those games on the road, 2 games at home, 14 and 13, minutes between 30 and 38, attempts 13, 15, then 7. Then that last game, he shot the ball 18 times, but he only made 5 buckets. So my natural lean when looking at this is the over. The volume is there. He's just had a poor game, and he loves it on the road against Denver. But 18.5 too, because on all these other games, his line was closer to 20. His first game was 17.5. Then he scorched them. Then that line moved to 19.5. So now it's back down to 18.5 after 2 bad games.
Oh, man, I'm with you. Over 18.5 for sure. Like, you're going to have those experiences where he sucks, like he's just trash. But 18.5, if you think about the caliber of player that he is and what he can do offensively, he can shoot the 3, he can score inside, and he can exploit mismatches. He was terrible against KCP, right?
Yeah.
But he can do all of those things. He's going to get out there. He's got a great shooting stroke. So there's really, he's going to get shots too. Like, Rudy's not going to get shots. It'll be Ant and Cat. That's option 1 and option 2. And then Mike Conley might do a little ball handling, pick and roll with Rudy. And then Jaden McDaniels is just standing in the corner. He gets what he's going to get. So, I like that. Over 18.5.
Okay.
Even trying to do some sort of like multi, like 20 points, 3 assists, 10 rebounds, something like that. Like just to have a good game, just to have, see if they can have a good game. But you might get a real good price around that. $6, $7, $8.
Yeah.
So
let's look at his rebounds.
Yeah.
His line's at 7.5. He cashes this every second game against them. First game 4, second game 12. But keeping in mind that game where he had 12 the first time, no Rudy.
That's right.
Then he had 5. Then he had 12 again. And you can see it in his rebound chances 5 to 23, 10, 19, bouncing up and down like a yo yo. It's tough. And if you look at historically, he's rebounded very well against Denver in the past. But
yeah, I mean, because they put Cat on Jokic and they
yes,
put on the back line. So, I mean, there's going to be rebound opportunities there for him because, he might contest Jokic or Jokic can kick to a guy and then he'll have to clean the rebound. Like, as long as he's on there for enough minutes. How many minutes
yeah,
has he been playing? Because he was injured. Minutes, 30. So
30,
he got to
35.
38 minutes. Yeah,
Yeah,
nah, that's good. I'm leaning towards the over for sure. Like, look at
yeah,
those. He's up well into the 30s.
yeah. Yeah, he can get it done. And I feel Denver playing Aaron Gordon more at the top is pulling Gobert away. Whereas if he's only running from corner to corner, Aaron Gordon, then Gobert's staying where he wants to be. He's always on the weak side. He's always helped near the rim. With
That makes sense.
Aaron Gordon playing up high, it's Gobert out. But who knows? Minnesota might make adjustments to their defense. It's like, fuck, maybe I shouldn't chase this guy around. Like,
Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing when we're looking. So what we're looking at this past data, it can only
yeah,
tell us what's happened before. But
yeah,
you got to think, is this going to be the same? Is the guy still going to get minutes? Is he still going to get shots?
yeah,
Still going to do things in the same manner? Or maybe they say, okay, go beer on Jokic and we'll just DM straight up.
yeah,
Is that the switch that they're going to flick you, so to speak? So yeah, it is interesting. It is
yeah.
interesting.
That it is. Let's talk about his assists real quick. 2.5. He's casing 3 out of the 4 games. 3, 1, 3, and 3. About his minutes. His potential assists, not crazy high. 4, 1, 4, and 2. Low as.
But what was game one was 9, to get 3. Was it?
5.
Oh, 5 to get. Yeah, I don't know. Probably.
You want to pass. I can see it in your face.
The pass. I don't want to.
All right. Let's talk about Rudy real quick. So Rudy historically has had really good games against the Nuggets scoring the ball.
That's right. He has.
And then opening games of this series, the first 2 games he played, 6 and 6 points. Last game he had 11. He was killing Phoenix. Minutes a bit up and down. 35, 27, 35. But I think you can expect 35 from him. Field goal attempts, not very high. 6, 5, and 5. But looking at historical form, see these games specifically, these 5 games here, that was the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
And he was eating them alive. So I thought
That's
Rudy Points was a good look. Then he didn't start so well, but I think there is upside of potential. But I don't know how he's going to get the ball because you can see it here. These are his last 5, or what's that? I can't even count. 6, 7 games. Last 7 games against Denver, the volume's not very high. And he kind of has to get his own. They're not lobbing it up to him.
I think he'll put away a good percentage of his opportunities. But like we said, it's not who knows what he's going to get given. And I think, he gets what he's given, you know what I mean? And if he can hustle up some offensive rebounds, he might be able to get a little bit of luck in a good position. Like, he's pretty strong. He's good at that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
one thing
that
I think that's hindered Rudy scoring is the development of Anthony Edwards. Because the more he becomes a better scorer, the less chances Mike Conley runs a pick and roll with Rudy. Like, Anthony Edwards' usage rate is going up because Conley's the only one who's going to give this guy the ball.
That's true. Yeah.
Ant's taking it inside. Euro's stepping all over the place. And Rudy's got to get offensive rebounds.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So there's a flip of the coin because he's so dangerous, and he takes that the focus of the defense. And if he has misses, well, it might leave Rudy in a good position to rebound the ball.
Yeah, I don't know. There's too many fun there. I'm not game enough to play it.
I just want to have a. What are we looking at? Rudy. Oh, Rudy. Yeah, I'd lean to the over. I'd lean to the over.
Okay. Bet. All right, looking at his boards. So far, series 13, 4, and 14. Chances 21, 10, and 18. Game well, that's the 20-point blowout for the Nuggets.
That's right.
You can excuse that, I guess. You can't assume that's going to happen again. Line's at 11.5 for Rudy to get rebounds, which feels quite low. That was sitting at like 12.5. I've even seen it at 13.5 against the Nuggets. Head-to-head wise, he's cleaned up last 10 games. Rebounding extremely well. Excluding that blowout, he almost covered in every single one. So
Yeah, I lean to the over.
Yeah. Yeah, I lean to the
How are
over
you?
too. I don't know why it's 11.5. It seems quite low. Like he'll get minutes. He needs to be. He needs to be on there.
I think yeah, it's my $1.80.
$1.82.
Yeah, I think it's good. Probably a
But I'm telling you, if you shop around, I can probably
bit better.
$1.95 easy.
Yeah.
That's what I've like between lads, Bet365, sports bet. Like I can easily find an extra 15 cents if I shop around.
Yeah, I think it's pretty. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah,
It's not terrible. Good rebounder. Very good rebounder. What am I talking about?
yeah, it's all right.
So I think what you're thinking is that the Nuggets don't miss, or that the Timberwolves get blown out,
Yeah,
or that they go in a direction, like they go small, something like that.
I don't know if they were better with Nas Reed in there.
They were really good in game two with Nas Reed and Cat. That lineup
Yeah,
was like freaking amazing. Like they were
yeah,
just
yeah,
hitting threes. It's just a different style, but
yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's talk about Mike Conley. So Mike Conley's been producing quite well, especially I've noticed against Denver. Let's go with these points first. 11.5. So this was at 10.5 in the previous game. So it's moved up now plus money. 14, 4, 10, and 15 points in the 4 games. He'll get 30 to 35 minutes. Shot attempts 9.8 over his last 10. Half of his shots come from 3, and he shoots those at about 41%. Couple of free throws as well. Another interesting thing is against Denver, averaging 13.4 in 13 games, covering this line 9 times. And when they played off in the playoffs last year, he was pretty good in those games too. So he's someone I've been leaning over with in every game. Hasn't always delivered, but that's definitely where the lean's been. You have any thoughts on Mike? Magic Mike?
I think that paints a pretty good picture of what he's capable of. A low teens sort of a scorer. So the other thing that I would be sort of against him, I think he picked up like an injury in the last game. Maybe
Oh,
game.
I saw that. That was a big fall. Like shoulder
Yeah,
or something.
so I actually might lean to the under just because of that. Like
Yeah.
this makes me would bet the over, but because
Yeah.
if he's not quite right shooting the ball, then that all factors in really. So I'd
Yeah, it was a
actually
big
lean to
tumble.
the under.
Well,
Yeah, it was.
I think my quote in that game, because I think I might have been streaming that game. And when it happened, I was like, Mike Conley's older than me. And I know if that was me, I'll be feeling that for weeks. Professional athlete after all, but it was a big fall. Like he got lifted. He got lifted. I think it was Christian Brown or something. Braun lifted him off the ground when he went up. So yeah, I see what you mean. Let's talk about his assists though. He's 6.5. He's the line. 10 in game 1, then 6, 6, and then 9. Potential assists hovering around 10 per game.
Do you find that funny? So he's got 10 in that one game, but they only had 9 potential assists apparently. Is that
Yeah,
right?
I
Am
don't know
reading
how that
right?
works.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're reading it
sometimes
right.
I think the stats keepers they don't quite get it right. That's funny,
Yeah,
but that's a really high. So if you look at
ratio.
it, those are
It's a
the
high
type of
ratio,
yeah.
70%.
So he's given like room service times, like he's
Yeah,
brought it right to them, and they just have to finish the meal. You know what I mean? Like Rudy on a lob
Rudy.
for a
Yeah,
dunk, those type of assists. So I'd probably lean to the under. Wait, what is the line? 5.5.
6.5.
Lean to that. Like lean to
Yeah,
the under. I think.
7 feels like a
Not
lot.
not. I wouldn't bet it. I'm not sure.
Yeah. All right. Actually, let me show you one thing for Mike Conley because this has been a popular bet for Mike Conley all playoffs. And a lot of people taking his straight bet over 20.5 PRA. So he's cashed in 8 of his last 10 games. 9 of the games have been in the playoffs. And against Denver, he's cashed in 9 of his last 13. So very similar to Rudy's rebound game, really. Like, just people who bet on the numbers and not feel for the game, this is something that they've been betting every single time.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, like I'd be looking at that and thinking, yeah, let's do it. But just the only thing
He's
that
injured, potentially.
injured, that's the only
Yeah.
thing that could take away. And when like I said before, when you're looking back, you just got to consider what's new moving forward, and that would probably be just one consideration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's enough not to bet it, right? Knowing that he's going into that game, potentially with an injury. Let's look at X. His points line is at 10.5. It's plus money. He's hit this in 3 out of 4 games, 16, 14, and 11 points. Had 7 in the game, in the blowout game. That's wise 23, 29, 20, and 19. He got a lot of minutes when Cat's in foul trouble or if Rudy Gobert's not there. That's pretty much where he gets his extras. Attempts 11, 14, 7, and 16. So if we average that out, he's probably sitting close to 10 attempts, 9 attempts on average to get 11 points. He does make almost 2 3-pointers a game, though. Keep that in mind.
That's right.
Had 2 strong games at Denver as well.
I got nothing for Nas Reed.
Yeah.
How are you?
I've got nothing purely because I bet it and hit last time, but like barely. So I don't know if I'll get that lucky again. I did bet his points plus rebounds, actually, which it cashed. It went like 2 over. But you see, yeah, it went 1 over. Half a point, half a rebound over.
I don't mind that. 3.5 rebounds.
Yeah.
Like you said, you have the upside of, okay, if Cat gets in foul trouble or if Rudy gets in foul trouble, he's got to be the answer for that.
Yeah.
And he is an okay rebounder. He's going to play about 20 minutes. So
yeah.
What was his potential? His rebound chances, 11.
7, 11, 1, and 6. The one where he was the blowout. That last game he had 6. But he's converting like 65, 70% of his rebound chance into rebounds on average.
Yeah.
But I feel like his lines, I'd lean to the over for them, but I feel like they're pretty spot on. Like if he misses, he's probably just missing, or if he hits, he's just hitting. Like
that's right.
Unless he gets 30 minutes, 10 minutes more than you would expect. But you need Cat like fouling everybody, you know, for that to happen.
That's a well set line, that one.
Yeah. All right. Anything else from the Timberwolves before we jump into the Nuggets? Any other players? The role players? Bench players?
Pretty happy with that.
Okay, sweet. Nikola Jokic, get the big dog out of the way first. Now, I haven't bet on Nikola Jokic for a long time. Months. The last time I took a Jokic bet. Because his numbers are so high. Actually, that's a lie. I have bet him before, and it's the bet and under. But for the most part, I don't bet him. His points line's at 29.5. He scored 32, 16, 24, and then 35 points. You can expect at least 40 from him.
Yep.
Field goals attempted, 25, 13, 18, and 26. So as his attempts go, his points go. So I think the bet here is, do you think he's going to take a lot of shots?
I'll probably lean to the under. Lean to the under, but he's still going to have that role. So in 2 of the games of the series, he's had, what was it? Under 20 field goal attempts, right? 18 and 13. He shoots free throws and that, but if he shoots 25, he's clearing 29, most likely.
Yeah.
So it's pretty tough, but you can look to play in that sort of a manner. If you don't want to play straight up, you can play under for the points and then go over rebounds and over assists, for example.
Yeah.
You could do something like that.
Yeah.
Because if he only took, 13 shots and 18 shots, he must be diming those games for sure.
Let me check his assists. Not like crazy. 9, 8, 9, 7.
9, 8, 9. And what's the line?
8.5.
Ah, okay.
Again, it feels like it's right on.
Yeah. You look at that and you just say, "Oh, yeah, it is."
And his potential assists don't like scream out to you, right? There's nothing in his potential assists that say, "Oh, fuck, good chance to take the over next time." Like they just didn't make shots.
Yeah.
Or the adverse to that, he didn't potential assists. They just made shots. Like
that's right. That's exactly right. So nothing.
Yeah. Maybe. So that's why I'm like, pass. I don't want to bet on the Joker. Like the safest bet for me is take the under in the PRA because it's going to be really high.
What's his PRA number?
Let's have a look. 51.5. He's got 4 straight games, but he's been close. 49, 40, 47, 49.
It'll be like, that's one of those ones. You back it and you've got a winning ticket in your hand and you just hate it the whole time because he's going to be like diamond and rebounding and shit. Like, it's not like, I've got under 51 and he finished with like 30.
Yeah. He's not like Luka. Luka will have similar lines, but Luka can have a bad game, like a slow game, and he'll only get 35 to 40. But the Joker, because if he's not scoring, he had a game there, he scored 24 points, had 14 rebounds, had 16 points, had 16 rebounds.
Yeah.
But they had 30 plus points. He only had 7 and 8 rebounds. In order for this ticket to cash, if you take the over, you need him to get a lot of points and a lot of rebounds and keep doing what he's doing with assists. So that's why I lean to the under. But you're right. It's a tough watch because he's just collecting stats the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
Yeah, I don't mind it, but I'm not going to take it. I go insane with too many unders. Let's talk about Jamal. So you're brave enough, smart enough to back the over when he went over. Let's see what he's looking today. His points line is at 21.5, 17, 8, 19 in the series. Minutes trending upwards, which is good. Field goals attempted 14, 18, 21, 17. So the 2 games that they won, he managed to get more shots off. but the percentage was the biggest change: 52 and 47%. Over the 10 games in the playoffs, he's shooting 41% from the field. What are your thoughts on your man Jamal in this one?
Yeah, I don't mind Jamal Murray. 21.5 seems about right to me in terms of the line. Has had some notable big playoff scoring performances, so I could lean towards that, like a 28 or 29 point game, 30-point game. There have been instances where he's really stepped up.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
I want to pass on it. I feel like if this was a game 7, I'll take his over. Or if they were down 3-2, then I would take his over. Just because of that moment, the gravity of the game, I think will drive him. Like, these are all big games, don't get me wrong, but that Lakers series, he didn't break out until they eliminated him, So, yeah. He's tough. He's going to get the shots up for sure. It's just that percentage worries me. I think I can find too many reasons not to bet it.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah, I lean to the over, but I can find a lot of reasons why I shouldn't bet that. So
For sure.
Being conservative this playoffs, that's what I'm going to do. All right, let's talk about his assists. That line's at 5.5. Minus 142 though. It's not good. It's like a 4, 2, 5, and 8 assists in that game. Potentials 8, 6, 10, and 11.
It's pretty low. Probably lean to the. But he's going to be so involved. It's just not a play for me, really.
Yeah. The odds aren't great. He's going to be heavily involved. So, and I don't see the potential for him to get 10. So, I'm not willing to dance with Jamal on this one.
Yeah, nah, not too much.
Right. Let's get into Aaron Gordon or MPJ. Those guys are good guys to bet on. I feel like they're really predictable. Let's take a look. Let me close this door real right. So Aaron Gordon, 13.5 points plus money we're looking at here. Plus 102, just over $2. In this series, 9, 20, 13, 27 in that last game. Minutes, he played 41 minutes in that last game. Prior to that, he was only playing about 33. I don't know what that's all about. I didn't know he was injured. Maybe he's gassed.
Is he injured?
No, I'm saying I don't think he was.
So.
But his minutes in the playoffs against the Lakers, he was getting 40. Then as soon as the T-Wolves series came up, he was getting 32.
I think that's what he'll play, man.
Then he got 41 in that last game.
Yeah, he'll play 40. That's their best lineup.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to end up with him on the court. And this, like, why wouldn't you? Foul trouble, maybe something like that.
Yeah, potentially foul trouble. Field goals attempted 6, 14, 7, and 12. I think the standout here is his percentages. Shooting 61% from the field in the playoffs. He's in the dunker spot most of the time, but he has been cashing some open threes. This is the threes he's made in this series. 0, 3, 3, and 2 3-pointers made. And that's because Rudy's defending him, just leaving him open in the corner.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on Aaron Gordon, though?
I'd probably lean to the over, but it's not a bet for me. I think we had him on a ticket actually last game, over 11.5, and that's pretty low. He should get that.
It's moved up 2 points since then, so
yeah. I don't think he'll be like a featured like a feature on the offense, but the shots that he gets will be easy, like those duck-ins. Like if he can get those duck-ins on a small guy, he's real good at that. Or Joker going 3-on-2, throwing him some like alley-oop lobs, or just wide open shots like you mentioned on Rudy Gobert that's just left him.
Yeah,
he can make those. Like just, I don't think they'll be running plays for him necessarily. Not too many anyway.
I think he shows up in the scouting report, so I'm not AG on this one, especially after a big game like that. Like a lot of times they don't go back to back. But let's take his boards out. 6.5. I think when you got him on the ticket at 5.5 last time, or 4.5 maybe.
Yeah.
So his rebounds in this series: 3, 4, 2, and 7. 7 boards in that last game from 9 rebound chances. Wasn't massive. I would lean to the under here at 6.5, but the under is minus 135. It's like $1.65 for us.
Nah.
So, and I don't see him going over 6.5 for plus money. 7 boards. His rebound chances.
The price was right.
Yeah.
It was like 4.5 last game, eh?
Yeah, it was 4.5. It's gone up by 2.
Yeah.
But he didn't go crazy. He got 7 boards. Like he didn't get 15. So I'd lean to the under for Gordon on his boards.
I think it's all right, but just the price is no good.
Yeah.
Not a bit for me.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about his assists real quick because he's bringing up the ball a lot more. So far in this series, 6, 2, 5, and 6 assists. That last game, he had 11 potential assists. If you look at his averages in the last 5, 7.6 potential assists, but we need him to collect 5 assists. He is averaging 5 from 7.6 potential assists.
Probably leans the under.
Yeah. It's a pretty high number. 5.
Yeah.
He's a point forward now, I guess. But yeah, it does seem pretty high.
What's that potential assist number?
7.6 of his last.
Oh, that's high as well, though. So, I mean, you can make a case for the over for sure.
Oh, I could be talked into it, of course. But yeah, something inside me says not to be honest. So I'll probably pass on Aaron Gordon today. I'll look at it under in his PRA, perhaps. What's that? 24.5. He got 40 in that last game. So, yeah, still, I don't want to take that. All right. Let's talk about MPJ and then anybody else and then get out of here because my child is screaming for me. All right, MPJ. So, I was one that backed his under in that last game.
Nice, man.
Killed it. And I combined it with the Aaron Gordon stuff. I had points under rebounds, Gordon over points over rebounds. So, MPJ's line's at 15.5. He went 4 far in this series. Minutes, we can expect 35 to 40. His volume's not great, though. Highs of 13, lows of 4 shots. So, what are your thoughts? Is there a bounce back here for Michael Porter Jr.?
I think so. I don't mind 15.5 points, but the shots were so low. The field goal attempts were so low. So, I don't know. I'd have to have a hard think about it, really.
Yeah.
Like, why would he only shoot 4 shots, though? He's such a good shooter, like very accurate shooter. That's what he's there for. They could look to get him involved. They'll sometimes run plays for him to come off and shoot. So, you know, that can be a play type that the uses. So, it's not impossible.
Yeah, I think it's possible, but I think you need to see a strategic change from the Nuggets because when I was watching, a lot of the times they'd run him off the line and he didn't know what to do when he got inside. He's just kicking it out, like 3s or nothing for MPJ. His rebound line, that's at 5.5 now. Actually, it was 5.5. Really good. He is. Historically, he's been eating this number up. In this series, hasn't been. 6, 5, 4, and 3, trending down. And so are his chances. 14, 9, 5, and 5.
I'd lean to the over for sure.
Yeah.
He's got a real good track record in the playoffs of just having big games. Yeah. Like I said, just because that can only tell you what's happened. And then the next question you're going to ask is like, oh, why? Is this going to continue to happen? And some of these things like rebound chances, it's like purely a matter of luck. Some of the especially rebound chances, because it's like, which direction is the ball going to bounce? He can contribute. He definitely can contribute as a rebounder. So, I look to back that really,
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't back the under based off these numbers because I think he's got to regress back to his normal baseline. And, like, this is not him. Like, he should be able to get 6 boards in his sleep because he's done in the past for us, right? Are there any other Nuggets players you want to talk to?
Could get around some. KCP, what's his line?
KCP, 7.5 points.
Yeah, I'd lean towards the over. He's going to have some good shooting games.
So he's cashing over in 1 out of the 4 games. 6, 4, 12, and 3. Minutes relatively consistent. And he's taking about 5 to 6 shots per game.
It's a bit low.
He's not shooting well from downtown too.
Yeah.
Under 30%.
He's a bit better shooter than that normally.
But this game where he didn't catch it, he got 6 free throws, which is...
That's career high. No, I don't know. Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah. All right, sweet. All right, man. That's pretty much the preview. For everybody, I'll be putting all the leans that I've come up with in the pinned comments. You guys can check that out. If you want to see what bets I ultimately land on, you know what to do. Jump into my Winnable. It's free. You get notified whenever I do place a bet. If you want to see more of the work that T's doing, check out his Instagram or jump into his free Telegram. Links for those will be in the video description. T, I thank you. This has been fun, man.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for having me. Shout out to all the Daft previews people. Hit me up on Instagram for some bets. You know, plenty of winners to find before the end of the season.
You know it. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.